Okay, so I wanted to know only one thing from you guys first, okay, before starting, that who from you are not aware about F5 at all? Neither LTM, neither GTM, neither ASM, not heard about anything about this product, anything about this technology. Is anyone who is not aware? I have the reply from Akhtar. Okay, thanks, Akhtar. Anything else? Anybody else who has nothing, no like prior knowledge about the LTM or maybe something regarding that? No? Okay, perfect. So guys, when we are talking about F5 WAF, it means one thing is clear that there is some product from F5 networks company, and this product suite is known as ASM. But when we are touching the term WAF, WAF means web application firewall. So it is a very broader term that web application firewall is something which create a shield between your web application and the internet. And why this is required is to mitigate multiple of the attacks. What sort of attacks is, what are the attacks, how it would be get mitigated, may I able to learn about it or no? Do not worry about those. We are going to extend the class maybe for 1 hour or more what if required. But I will be gonna show you the practical also. So don't worry, be stick over here. I will be gonna tell you from the very basic to the level where you can see that what the WAF, how WAF working is. And especially when I'm talking about WAF, I am talking about ASM. Okay. Hey, thank you, Rizwan and all who are mentioning over there. Do not worry, I would be starting from the basic. Okay. So when I'm saying WAF, so WAF means something which help you to protect your web application by filtering and monitoring your HTTP or your HTTPS traffic between your web application to the internet. So in between the users and the web application, we will put the WAF in between, and there we will tweak some kind of settings. We will be checking out all of those settings in today's session. Don't worry. Okay. And it can be like cross-site forgery, cross-site scripting, file inclusion, SQL injection, and a lot more. What are those terms? Do not worry, we will be touching those terms in today's demo. Okay, but I am just giving you the high by fly view that what actually WAF is. So WAF is web application firewall, and when we are saying F5 WAF is ASM. Okay, application security manager. So this is a module by the F5 BIG-IP product suite family, which will be providing you the maybe a shield, which is mitigating various of attacks, maybe including DDoS, including brute force, and a lot more. We will be checking out each and every stuff in today's demo. Don't worry. Okay, let us proceed further. Okay, so we talked about WAF. Now WAF is web application firewall, and it is important. Why? It is important to defense against web attacks and to achieve your regulatory compliance. So whenever you are hosting your application over the internet, there are two things. One thing is, like, everyone is coming digital, you are aware about it, especially post the corona side, right? When due to this pandemic situation, everyone want to come to the digital side. So with this continued growth of web application traffic, an increasing amount of sensitive data is exposed to potential theft, security vulnerabilities, and multi-layer attacks can be performed over the internet. Now, to know to how to protect your organization and its reputation by maintaining the confidentiality and maybe availability and the performance of your application, you should be aware about how to protect your application and what are the different components of your application. Because if you are not aware about the different exposure of your different component of your application which are exposed to the risk, you cannot mitigate those risks. So you should be very much aware about that. And when we are talking about web, it means HTTP, HTTPS traffic. By the way, ASM policy protect your HTTP and HTTPS traffic. So BIG-IP ASM is a key part of your F5 application delivery, including with your application delivery firewall solution, AFM. So it will combine with that and provide a robust kind of security, implementation into your uh, network, so that it consolidate your traffic management, network firewall part, application access, DDoS protection, SQL injection, and DNS security, and a lot more of the features which we will be watching out today. Okay, let us go forth and maybe see couple of the features or couple of the things from the ASM perspective. So now when we are saying ASM, so why we need to have the ASM in our environment? Let us see point by point. So first point is maybe deliver comprehensive security. How? Big IP product suite, or especially ASM, blocks your web application attacks to help protect a broad spectrum of threats. Okay, like DDoS, SQL injection, XXE, or multiple of the things. We will be talking about those things in coming out our more slides. Do not worry about that. Then when we can see that achieve compliance and cost effective. So this particular product suite ASM is equipped with a set of pre-built and certified application security policies. Like Big IP ASM give you out of box protection for common application like Microsoft, okay, Outlook Web Access, Oracle, Microsoft SharePoint. So in those scenarios, what you need to do is you need to just put out that rapid deployment policy. What are the policies we will be talking about, but I am just giving you an overview for a couple of the slides. Okay, you need to put out some of the ready to use policies, and it will be gonna it will be gonna protect out your those applications. Then this is comply with your industry standards, like if you have PCI DSS, or maybe your organization is having that is HIPAA, I hope HIPAA, or maybe Basel 2, or multiple of your such kind of standards are already inbuilt in your ASM box. So once you are tightening your policy on the basis of your attack signature, you are enforcing that, maybe you are putting correct type of application standards, you are using correct of the framework, application language, and all of the stuff. Maybe you are using the data guard feature. What are those features we will be talking about? Don't worry, don't hurry. Okay, we will be gonna talk about each and every feature, but I am just giving the overview about the ASM. So ASM is available across the entire family of your F5 platform. Like it can be used on the virtual edition, it can be on the physical appliance also, and maybe if you have the Wipro chassis in your environment, there also you can provision the ASM. So that is how your ASM is not only like providing these kind of stuff, but it is very significant for performance advantage, like your SSL offloading, which your F5 LTM used to do, okay, caching, compression, TCP optimization, and a lot more. So this is particular a solution from the Big IP, which is securing, if in a very big layman term, because the people are new over here, they are just putting me that yes, I am the new to the technology and I am not aware about. So in the layman term, I will say, if you have an application which is on the base of HTTP and HTTPS, or the web application, okay, there are multiple of attacks which can be performed on these applications, and to secure that application, we will be putting ASM in between the application servers and between the clients. So that is in the layman term, that it is application security manager which will protect your web application. Okay, I hope it makes some sense so far. If anyone has any doubt, maybe you can put over the chat, otherwise I am just proceeding it up. No? Okay. So let us talk about, some of the more features about the ASM over here. Okay, someone is putting over the chat. No, thank you. So I just I just write down over here a couple of the features regarding like security and implementation. So when I am saying the security and implementation, it it can include, but not limited to, geolocation based blocking. Like if one of the country you want to get blocked, You can do that using ASM. If you want to apply a data guard feature, you just enable it and it will take care automatically that if there is some kind of credit card number or maybe USN number or maybe something like that, it will gonna mask that. Okay, if such kind of critical information client is asking, that would be in the masked form, so that it should not be stealed from one of the company. You have heard a lot of such kind of attacks happen, and lot of laws companies need to be bear out such for such kind of stuff. Then you can have something known as attack signatures. What are attack signatures? We will be talking about in some time. I would be showing you the attack signature practical, do not worry. Okay, at that time I would be talking more about that, but you can say it is set of rule which is blocking the malicious request if there is some kind of pattern found out. Okay, so it can it F5 provide live update for your attack signatures. Then web scraping protection, it do provides. Then PCI reporting, as I told you before some time, HIPAA, either it is HIPAA, PCI DSS, or multiple of the stuff, it take cares. So security and implementation is the one of the broader feature of your BIG-IP ASM. Then comprehensive attack protection. So it is again a broader term which can be like which can include SSL offloading, caching and compressions, writing down the I rules. I rules, if you guys are already working on the F5, you are aware, but those who are new, for them, let me tell you, F5 provide you some utility. Okay, it is TCL based scripting language. You need to write down some kind of script. Okay, you can say a little script to tweak out your application behavior, or maybe you can say to tweak out your application traffic over the F5. Okay, so let us say F5 is working in one way, and that way is showing that over one VIP, you cannot apply two pools. Okay, so that is the limitation on your VIP side. But if you want to enhance, or if you want to delegate, if you want to remove this kind of limitation, you can use iRule. And iRule will provide you some kind of utility that on the basis of URI redirection, or maybe on the basis of some kind of criteria, again it is if and else kind of stuff. Okay, so on the basis of that, you can go for multiple pools even for a single VIP. That is only a very small and very basic example for the iRule, but it is not limited to that only. It can do a lot of stuff. If you wanted to learn about the iRule, please go to the F5 wiki, okay, iRules, and you would be able to see that F5 already providing a lot of series of the iRules. You can go over there and you can understand that what is the power of iRule. Okay, then L7 rate shaping also can be provided into your comprehensive attack protection. Your application visibility and the reporting can be done by your ASM module. So this particular heading is covering a lot of stuff, as I told you earlier. Let us talk about some of the performance and configuration type. It mainly it is comprehensive attack protection, and these two terms are like layer 7 DDoS thing is happening on your environment. So there is some kind of DDoS profile you can apply over that and you can use it. Maybe if there is some kind of SQL injection so into your environment, what are those terms? We will be talking about these terms also, do not worry. Okay, later on we will be talking about these terms. So if some kind of injection attacks are happening in your environment, basically if we are talking about the injection attacks, first of the attack comes in our mind is SQL injection. So if SQL injection is happening, there is attack signature, and attack signature have various of the pattern regarding your SQL injection attacks to be mitigated, and it will throw a violation. What are the violation we will be talking about? I would be showing you all of the stuff in today's demo, do not worry. Okay, then cross-site scripting, if someone is putting, maybe someone is tampering with your parameters, doing the session hijacking, manipulating with your cookies, doing the forceful browsing, all of these things would be dealt by your powerful BIG-IP ASM features. Okay, so far any doubt to anyone? If you have any doubt, maybe it was a very broader view, okay, for this particular product suite what I am talking about. But if you have any doubt, maybe you can please speak up, or you can just put it over the chat. No? Okay, So let us talk more about one of the major and important topic, that is OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. Okay. So Samir is asking how iRule will be used in ASM. So iRule functionality in ASM would be same. Either you are, see, it is TMOS, right? We are not talking about ASM. We are not talking about any of the big IP product suite, but we are talking about TMOS. So even your ASM is also working on the TMOS, right? And since it is a TMOS, so iRule functionality would be bit same if you are working on your LTM or maybe in any of the other module, AFM, APM, GTM, or DNS, whatever you say. So it would be same because it is following on your TMOS architecture, right? So if you have any doubt, Samir, you can ask. Otherwise, it would be the same thing. But guys, let us talk about a very important stuff, that is OWASP top 10 vulnerability. Okay. Now, what is OWASP top 10? Anyone want to answer on this? Maybe on the chat or maybe on somewhere, please. If no, it's all right, perfectly fine. So OWASP top 10 is something like a set of rules written by your multiple of internet community. Okay, so let me show you OWASP top 10. Give me a minute. Huh? Then we will be talking about this vulnerability. So OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. See, so this is OWASP means Open Web Application Security Project, and yes, it is an online community. Okay, where they will be doing multiple of the stuffs by checking out multiple of risks or maybe attacks on your application, and they produce couple of a list which is known as OWASP top 10, one of the biggest project which is recognized all over. And you can see there are top 10 vulnerabilities which are mentioned over here, and we will be talking about these vulnerabilities. And on the basis of these vulnerabilities, multiple of your applications are can be secured. Okay, if you are just taking care of these top 10 vulnerabilities, your 50 or maybe 60% of application security is now not vulnerable, because you are taking care of the top 10 risks or top 10 attacks. Okay, so let us talk about all of these things in one by one, maybe over here in our window. So we checked, first was injection. As this term is talking about, so injection means we are injecting something, right? So an injection attacks occurs when an attacker inject a command or maybe a query, maybe a code into the vulnerability or maybe vulnerable element of the application. So there is one of the application, okay, it is not written out properly, okay, and there is some kind username. I will be showing this into the practical also, do not worry, okay, into our today's demo only. So there are two terms, like there is a login page and here is username and password. One can do what? He or she can put some kind of query into the username itself. And this query can be like maybe provided you the admin access, maybe provided you with you all of the stuff of your database. It is giving you all out secure, you say, piece of information of your application. So that is bad. Okay. And when I'm saying injection, SQL injection is very common method of injection attack, and we will be watching out in today's demo what is SQL injection. And to perform the SQL injection, an attacker only need to modify some part of query string. Okay, and okay, before that, let me tell you what the SQL is. So when one person is accessing an application, okay, let us say this is your application server, and this application server is storing some data and retrieving some data from the database. Okay, so from here to here there is some language, maybe HTTP, HTTPS or something like that, and from the SQL to the database, the language of love is SQL. Okay, Now, one person can attack to this SQL language and inject some of the strings, some of the codes to the vulnerable element of your application and can steal very, very important stuff from your environment. So that is one part of SQL injection. There can be a lot of a lot of injection attacks can be performed on the application, but mostly SQL injection is one of the common method by your uh, hackers. Okay. Now let me talk about second one. So second one, which we saw over there is broken authentication, if I am not wrong. So broken authentication. Now, what if you see this word? It means your authentication is broke down, right? So application function related to authentication and session management are often implemented incorrectly, and it allows the attacker to compromise passwords, maybe session tokens, maybe exploit other implementation flows to, steal again important information. And it can be like your brute force attack. Okay. So into your brute force, what person can be do is like if there is some username and password, he or she can be put different of the combination and permutation of your username and password and all of the stuff into ASM. We will not be by the way will doing this practical tomorrow, but let me tell you, you need to create some kind of login page over there where you are just telling that, okay, what are my login pages are. Okay. Post that, you need to secure those login pages by brute force profile. Okay. And you can just enable your brute force protection over there. So that sort of protection your F5 will always provide you. There some kind of automated attacks can also happen over here, like I was saying, you random credentials someone is popping up. Okay. Then session hijacking can also happen over here. Cookie encryption can be also happen over here. Session fixation can be also happen here. And you maybe heard about CSRF attack, that is cross-site request forgery. That kind of attack can also happen over here. One-click attack and lot of other attacks can be happen if your vulnerability broken authentication is exposed in front of hacker. Okay. Is there any doubt so far to anyone? You can ask, guys. If no, let me proceed. Just give me a minute. Okay. So let us talk about the next, that is sensitive data exposure. So when we are saying sensitive data exposure, again, the term is explaining about itself in a very good way. So many of the web application or maybe APIs do not properly protect your sensitive data, like your financial data, healthcare data, or maybe your like employees data. Okay. So attackers may steal or modify such weakly protected data to steal maybe credit card information or maybe some another private information which should not be get exposed over the internet. So sensitive data may be compromised without extra protection, such as your encryption. Okay. So you need to be encrypted everything. Attackers often target sensitive data like your I said you like password, credit card number, passport number, personal information. Okay. When you do not when you do not securely protect them. Mainly these all information which we are talking about is not only liable for ASM administrator. So it is not bit like that okay, I am the ASM administrator, so I have the whole sole responsibility for the application. No, this is somewhere in the collaboration fashion. An application owner and an ASM engineer both need to be, deploy a robust application security on the basis of your ASM policy and on the basis of your application features also. So somewhere it's need to be a combined work for, or a comprehensive work with your application security and with the ASM guys. Okay, so combinedly we need to work with them in production. How we need to work, what sort of things we should be think about that we should be avoided in our production environment to be, get it promised. So that all of the terms we will be talking about, okay, in our classes. But yeah, this is one of the main, again, OAuth's top 10 common attack, that is sensitive data exposure. So far, anyone has any doubt, you can please ask me. Otherwise, let us, proceed for some more attacks. Why it is important, guys? Because when I would be showing you some of the attacks, you should be at least aware that what kind of attacks is. Okay, otherwise maybe when I am showing the practical, you may feel like, oh, what is happening, even I don't have any clue. Okay, so that is the reason why I am just explaining a little bit about these vulnerabilities. But in classes we have proper one class of 2 hours or 2.5 hours is dedicated for only for these vulnerabilities. Okay, and how they can be done, what are the things to be the mitigated. So that we will be talking about later on. Let us talk about next XXE. XXE is XML external entities. So usually it is watched out that if you are an application owner, you will feel more comfortable for your machine language rather than the human language. And that is where this XSE come into the play. So many older or poorly configured XML process evaluate externally entities reference with your XML documents. Okay, so this is an language. It is an markup language intended to both for human readable and the machine readable. And since it is more closer to the machine due to its complexity and the security vulnerability, it is now phase out of one of the main risk into your OAuth's top 10 vulnerabilities. Okay, so this is also important. Now let us talk about next one, that is broken access control. So again, if you see, there is something with your access control and someone is broken that rule, right? Even the term is self-explanatory. Now it is saying that restriction on what authenticated user are allowed to do are often not properly enforced into your application. And that is how, or that is where attackers can exploit these flaws to access the unauthorized functionality, or maybe you can say data, such as maybe one is accessing the admin account. He is not admin, but somehow he broken the access control and he is using the admin account. Okay, sensitive files and can modify user data, and maybe some of the more rights he can or she can tweak out. So that is your broken access control. Let us talk about some more. Maybe cross-site scripting is there. Cross-site scripting means someone is putting out some kind of scripts into your application forms. Maybe if you are selling something, maybe if you are putting into the username and password in some of the form where user data need to be post out. Okay, with post, maybe I need to ask you guys, are you guys aware about get, post, or maybe some kind of these kind of methods? Yes or no, please, so that I can, give you more clarity on that also. Please put over the chat if you wanted to cover me this thing. Otherwise, we can proceed it up. Okay, Rizwan, I got you. And okay. So let me tell you one thing first. Before proceeding there, let me talk to you over the URI. Maybe you guys should be aware about these terms. So I hope you guys are aware about URI or maybe URL. You have heard about these terms, but let me give you a very small example of the URI so that everyone should be on the same page. Let us say one is accessing HTTPS www NetMinion.net, and then maybe for the Python course, and maybe then searching for module equal to 3 or whatever, like that. Okay. So I am giving you one very common example of URI or URL, how it would be compromised or what are the different components of a URL. First of all, if you see this, let me use some another color of the pen ink. If you see this part is known as protocol identifier. It can be your HTTP and HTTPS, again based on your SSL profile. If you are not aware about SSL profile even, don't worry. I will be, touching a couple of the part over there also. Then if you see this part, from here to here, it is known as host name. And then this can be your file path or maybe directory path or whatever you can say. Okay. So it is your file name or path can be stuff. And whatever come post your question mark. So post your question mark, there is something known as a query string. Okay. So this query string has two things. One is your parameter and second thing its value. This is known as query string. So as an ASM engineer, or if you're working on, you are securing the HTTP or HTTPS, you should be aware about these very, very, small functionalities of any of the applications. I hope, let me give you, because we are talking in that way, so we will be come back to this slide later on. Let me first clear out there. Okay. So I hope you guys also heard about the terms APIs, right? And when we are talking about the web application, we will be talking about REST API. So there are lot of ways to access an application. And one of the ways using REST API. So REST API is nothing like, by the way, let me tell you one thing. This term is generic term. If you are using in Cisco, you are using in F5, you are using in any of the vendors, it is perfectly fine. All of these particular vendors have their own set of REST APIs. Like F5 is having, they used to talk about eye control. Okay, that is again a separate topic. By the way, we used to teach about the REST API, totally different course in NetMinion. You can join over there, but let us focus on our today's course first. Cisco has different platform. Again, for Nexus, there can be different thing. For DNS Center, there are different REST APIs. There are different REST APIs, which can have different tags, different values, which we need to put on, okay, before connecting to our device successfully. Otherwise, we would not be able to connect with our device successfully. Okay, let us talk about the same thing what we were talking about. So when I was talking about REST API, why I just talk about this is, there is a common term named as CRUD, CRUD. C stands for create. So when you want to make some kind of creation on your application, maybe you are creating a VIP, you are creating a pool, you are creating a node or anything, you are using C stands for create. And mainly in your HTML, or sorry, in your like web environment, this is done by post method. Post means you are posting something over the website. Then let us talk about read. Okay, R stands for read. Read means you are reading something from your application. Maybe the status of your VIPs, either it is up or down. Maybe the status of your anything what you are reading about. This is achieved by the method in your web environment named as GET. Okay, there are a couple of more things also, like in case of update, you are updating something, it is already there, but you are again modifying it. Okay, you can achieve that with your put or patch method. Okay, these are your you should be aware about these method, and we will be talking about this method in a very good detail when we will be going through our classes, but for the demo perspective, because you asked, so I am just covering this part. And there is something known as delete. So CRUD means create, read, update, and delete. And these things are achieved by your REST APIs. And in the contrast of your web application world, it is achieved by your create method, sorry, get method, post method, put method, patch method. By the way, over the ASM policy, if you are running out any of the ASM policy, there are only three things which are allowed. That is good, sorry, get, post, and head, if I'm not wrong. So these are the three which are allowed by default on your ASM policy. I would be showing you this. Just remind me when I would be showing you the practical. Just remind me. Okay, maybe for the practical, let me make my labs on, so that meanwhile we are covering out this session, we can, just go to our practical also. Allow me a minute, guys. Let me make my lab on. Okay, so maybe let me start all of the nodes. We will be talking about this lab, don't worry. In couple of the time, we will be talking about this lab, okay? Meanwhile, let us come back over this. Okay, so we were talking about this stuff. Now, let me show you the example of this as well, right? The get method and that all of this, or all sort of the method, so that everyone should be on the same page. HTTPS NetMinion .net. So I am opening a link that is my like this is the application, this is the website of NetMinion, but I wanted to show you the, where is that, developer tool. Okay, developer tool. What is developer tool? We will be talking about that also later on. Okay, don't worry. So this is inbuilt functionality of your Chrome. Okay, I didn't put anything over the Chrome, none of such, external extension. So you can also see the developer tool. You can press Control plus Shift plus I. Maybe who are already working in your AS, maybe LTM or ASM part, you are aware about these tools, right? Now let me open this. Okay. Okay. So this website is opening up, and you can see there are different of the pages which are getting loaded up when I am opening this website. And if I will scroll it up onto this particular stuff, can you see there is some method name is get, which is used over here. Although there is something known as status code 200. Okay, let me cover the status code also, because it is also an important term. Okay, and I don't want to miss you, because you people giving me your time, and I want to give you a proper value, so that you should be happy. Either you are joining the class or no, that is a different story, but you should be feel happy that you spent your time and you get a very good information regarding the status codes. So again, status codes is also very much important thing, and one should be aware about the status code. It can be from 10x, like 100, 101, bit like that. And when this is the series of 100 series, it means these are informational, or these are providing some sort of information to you. Okay. Mostly for your 20x, or maybe something starting with 200, you can able to see 200. Okay, it means request is successful. Okay, and there is no issue, as you can see into our environment over here. Can you see this is showing you 200 status code? It means everything is working fine and everything is good. Then you would be able to see something starting with 30, maybe 300, like 302, most commonly used. You can see over different platforms. Usually when you are using some kind of policies, LTP, you are aware about LTP or no? If no, leave it. Maybe you have done the something regarding the iRules redirection, right? So same way we can use something known as LTP. Again, I will be telling you LTP in today's practical also, not in the full detail, but I will be showing you what is the LTP. Okay, do remind me about this stuff also, please. I will be showing you about this stuff. So 30 something related to the redirection. Then there can be something starting with 40. Okay, so 40 means it is client side stuff. Okay, it is client side stuff. It can be like 404. Usually we used to have such kind of error code on our screen. It means request not found. It can be have 403. Okay, which means that the client which wanted to use the specific page is not allowed for him. It is for admin or maybe something for someone else, right? And similarly, you can be having the 407 or maybe lot of the stuff. Okay, and when you have 50x kind of error code, it means server side issue. Okay, it is your application which is making the noise. It is not your thing. It is not your ASM. And usually, guys, believe me, when someone is coming to you, hey, my application is broken, you put the application security in between, and after that I am not able to access my application, please remove this. You just ask, what is the error code? Do you have some kind of support ID or no? But I will be showing you about the support ID also. Don't worry, I will be showing you the practical about the support ID. But these are the couple of the quick prerequisite checks which you need to be done as an ASM manager or maybe as a ASM guy, okay, who is handling the ASM. So with respect to your event status code, you can able to diagnose what is the issue, and either this issue is from the ASM end, or maybe from the client end, or maybe from the server end, or maybe from which end. Okay, you can able to check that. So one should be aware about these codes also. Again, we will be talking about all of these response headers, request headers, but in the class. Okay, we cannot cover each and everything in the demo itself, but yes, there is a lot of information, good information, which you can see over here. And yes, you should have used, maybe if I'm not wrong, let me open the command prompt. There are different ways to access the like application. Like one of them is like curl. So let me try with curl if my application is working over there or no. NetMinion.net. So you should be have the curl utility first of all. Okay, I hope I don't have that and it is not giving me any of the results. It's all right. But if you have the curl in your environment, maybe let me remove this particular stuff if it works in that way. No. Okay, so curl is an Unix utility, by the way. Okay, you have the curl utility, then you just write down curl and the application name, and it will be giving you lot of stuff that okay, what's into this application is. And then in our class, okay, if we talk about our class, let me just use one of the pen. We will be using a tool named as Fiddler. Again, it is a free of cost tool, do not worry. And when I am talking about any of the tool or any of the thing, you will be using our lab. Okay, you will be using NetMinion lab, and you can access our lab for each and everything. So I hope I am having the tool already installed on my lab. Let me see over there. Fiddler, yes. So Fiddler is already there. Okay, you can see that is a free tool you can download from the internet. It's what is this Fiddler tool? Fiddler is nothing but it is a debugging proxy server tool used to log, inspect, and alter your HTTP and HTTPS traffic between your computer where you are installing it, okay, and your web servers, where are your web servers is. So when we are talking about our lab, let me show you a little bit about our lab also, so that you can have a fair idea. Let me make it somewhat bigger. Okay, so here are some components of our lab. This is our ASM unit, okay, F5 WAF, about which we are talking from a long, maybe it's 1 hour now. Yeah, we are talking about F5 ASM. And then this is our vulnerable application, where we will be performing some kind of attacks from this PC. we will be accessing our F5 ASM also through the management, and our website also. That is nothing but a free website provided by your F5. Thanks to F5 Networks for that. Okay, it is PHP auction website. But you will be have this lab prepared for you guys. You need to build each and every component by your hand. Okay, when I am saying you need to build, it means do not get panic that how I would be do I would be able to do it. Okay, don't worry, let me show you one thing more. When I'm saying that you need to do it, it means you need to do it using workbooks. Okay, if you are enrolling for the classes and all of the stuffs, you will be welcoming for the workbooks where each and every part of the lab, like how you need to do lab, how you need to perform a particular task, is recorded over there on the workbook, and you can access the workbook at as per your time. Let me show you. Let me share one of the workbook. Like this workbook is talking about ASM kind of stuff, like how you need to build out the ASM, what should be the IP address you need to use. Of course, you can change the IP address as per your maybe schema, okay, whatever you want to use. But if one is not from the networking field, and he or she is only from the ASM, and he has the or she has the intention to learn the ASM only, then this would be very much helpful for that person. Okay, where we are just talking about, okay, what kind of interface is, what kind of default username and password is, how to log in into the device. If you are logging into the device first time, how to configure the static IP. Okay, that kind of minute steps are presented over there, and not presented, but even the screenshot is also mentioned from our lab. If you see, this is the lab from the NetMinion solutions only. Okay, so these screenshot, you can see that each and every information is mentioned over there, and you would be able to comply, and you would be able to configure these applications onto your environment on your lab, because your lab would, you need to start it from the scratch, very scratch. Okay, and you need to build the lab by using these particular workbooks. Of course, I would be telling you in the class also, when we will be starting in the class. But later on, if you wanted to access it, you need to check out from here now. Okay, so where is my PC? Let me close this particular tool. Where was I was talking about the OWASP top 10, if I'm not wrong. Oh, we are little bit rushed over somewhere. Okay, let me talk about the OWASP top 10. Okay, so there are a couple of more vulnerabilities into the OWASP top 10. I hope there is something known as insecure deserialization. So deserialization and serialization is some term. It is sort of packing or unpacking kind of stuff. So when you are making the unpacking, at that time attacker can do some, perform some kind of attacks. And all of these OWASP top 10 is talking about different attacks. Like one of them is in the last, if we saw there was, let me write it down over here. Someone is asking something. Fiddler topic was not completed. Hey Michael, don't worry, I will be showing you over the lab. Okay, don't worry, I am talking about the fiddler later on. Now the last one is insufficient logging and monitoring. So when I am saying insufficient logging and monitoring, it is not related to the some attack. You can see that insufficient logging means your logging is not properly attached in your ASM. So in your ASM, there is a logging profile where you can be put different of logging methods. Like you can log all of the events, you can log only blocked events or maybe illegal events. So we need to be properly very much cautious about what kind of profiles we are using and what kind of capacity of our devices. If we are running with an old appliance and there we are running LTM also, GTM also, ASM also on a single appliance, the capacity management should be taken care properly. Because if you are an architecture, you should be think in that way only. It is not like that you are completing your configuration and that's it. No, if your monitoring and logging part is also not good, it can also lead to some kind of attacks. Okay, it will allow attackers to further attack system, okay, and maintain persistence over there. So you should be very much aware when you are using logging. Guys, I want a quick break of maybe 2 minutes, please. Let me have a sip of water. Okay, and pause, then we will be starting again. Just 2 minutes, please. Sorry, I am back. So yesterday I was having the COVID vaccination. So it is somehow like making attack on my throat. So it is getting very much dried. Okay. So we were talking about OWASP top 10 that is completed, and we were last talking about the insufficient logging and monitoring, and where I told you that this part is also you need to be very much aware about, although it is not some kind of attack, but this can lead to some attacks if you are not properly maintaining it. Okay, let us proceed further, and here we can see the lab practicals. Okay, so let me show you the lab practical, guys. Discard. Let me jump to my lab and let me make some of the lab practicals. First of all, I would like to say you again that please check all of these components. There are no more components. Okay. So one thing what we will be doing is when we are accessing this application, we are not directly going like that. Okay. If you are going like that, it means it is having the attacks, it is attack pruned, and you can make couple of the attacks. How the application flow would be, there would be a VIP which we will be creating. Maybe I will delete if there is some VIP I will be creating in front of you, so that you guys have a very good understanding about the VIP and all of the stuff, because some people are new here, and although there is some security policy also, but I would create a new, don't worry. Okay, and I will be showing you. So how the application flow would be, first it will be going to your F5 ASM, and then it will be going to your application. And since it is going through our ASM box, here we will be applying something known as security policy. Okay, so security policy, if we will say that what is security policy and how what is the use of security policy. So security policy, if I will say, it is the core of your ASM box. So it is some set of rules which you are applying over there, and everything what you are running with is going through the ASM policy. Now maybe let me give you one more overview, because you people are from the LTM view, LTM only. So let me give you one more view about the traffic flow, so that everyone should be on the same page. Let us say request is coming from here. Okay. First of all, request will hit where? On your F5 ASM box, onto some of the virtual server, right? On your virtual server, your F5 ASM box will check first thing, is it HTTP or HTTPS profile is there or no? Because I told you, these kind of security policies or the ASM works on HTTP or HTTPS thing only. If you are having HTTP or HTTPS, or let us say if you don't have the HTTP and HTTPS, and there is some default pool, okay, so the request will be go to the default pool and it will be over. Let me remove this stuff and let me create one more again quickly. Okay, let me use some another pen. Now request is going from here, going to your virtual server. Over the virtual server, your policy is also there, maybe. Okay, your profile is there. HTTP or HTTPS profile is there. Now it will check either I have the ASM policy or no. If ASM policy is there, traffic will be navigated to your ASM policy. And ASM policy will check either the request is valid or invalid. Okay. If the request is valid, then again, this particular request will go to your default pool. And one of your pool member will answer on this request. If this request is invalid means it have some kind of, attacks into it, maybe SQL injection, maybe some kind of other attack. Okay, in that case, it will throw a error, or we can say violation. These violation will be having some kind of naming convention. Maybe in the layman term I will be using it, because you people are not aware about each and every technical stuff, so I'm just using a layman term, a naming convention which is known as support ID. And all of these things I will be showing you in some time, guys, don't worry. Okay, I will be showing you each and every stuff, but before that I am just making you on the same page, so that you should not be feel like what we are doing. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to put some kind of policies. Okay, security policies. We need to apply security policy, and we need to check that either our ASM is blocking those vulnerable requests or no. Okay, and one thing very important I would like to tell you over here, that when I am talking about F5 ASM, there is two mode of security models. Okay, one is positive security model, and second is negative security model. When I am saying positive security model, it means you as an administrator will decide what is valid, only that is allowed, rest all of the things will be blocked. Okay, but negative security model is you decide what is not valid, means it is totally different from the positive security model. Okay, so you decide what is not valid, and rest all of the stuff is allowed. Okay, by the way, let me tell you, F5 ASM from the beginning is coming to negative security model. And when we are checking about the negative security model, it will have only one thing, that is, even if you are putting the attack signature into the enforcing. So maybe I hope that is bit technical. I am going into the technical more technical discussion. Okay, let us leave that, but just understand there are two sorts of a security model. One is positive security model, one is negative security model. Positive security model means you decide what is valid and everything will be blocked, and negative security model means what is not valid and everything is allowed. Okay, and by the way, your F5F is come up with negative security model. Why it is not like that, why we are on that stuff, why it is having negative security model, all of these whys please have with you. We will be covering it in our classes in a very 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 good details. Even you will give me the answer why. Okay, okay. So when I was talking about the attack signature, means there is some kind of rules or patterns of something which is checking out your access, your request, either it is containing some kind of vulnerable things or no. Okay. Okay, let's not wait much. Let us, jump to the practical then. Guys, so far, any doubt to anyone? Please put it over the chat if anyone has any doubt. Otherwise, I am starting in the practical topics over here. What is included in DMG zone? Oh, yeah. I forgot to talk about DMG zone. So RP, DMG zone is nothing but it is a switch. Okay, we are simulating whole of the network bit like your real environment. So we have write down over there DMG zone, but it is nothing. It is your switch. Even if you if you see the, let me open the workbook again. Okay, so that you can have the details about it. Akhtar, F5 ASM is physical or virtual appliance? Yes, it can be physical, it can be virtual. In our environment, it is virtual. And when you are talking about license, yes, Akhtar, license is required for each and every thing. Okay. Yes, it is an icon there, RP. Okay. Gokul, if I have LTM policy and I rule, which one will be checked first when the traffic hits on the VIP? What is the question? If I am having LTM policy and I rule, so that I also need to check, but I haven't seen about that in very in detail, that which one is checked first. But it hardly matters either you are going to the I rule or the LTM policy. But if I am thinking, it should be I rule first, okay, and post that it should be go to the LTM policy. But I need to check on that. Okay. Any other question to anyone? And let me show you RP about our DMG zone. Okay, I have provided all of the stuff over here in the workbook, but let me again show you. See, when we are coming to DMG, what we are doing is we are going to the config T and we are just adding these, VLANs. So it is nothing, it is a switch. If you see the screenshot, you can see this is a switch. Okay. I hope it is clear to all of you. Any other questions, guys? Anyone have any other question? Please put it over the chat. No? Okay. Okay, someone has some question. Got it, sir. Okay, thank you, RP. So let us proceed then. Big IP interface. What does that mean? Big IP interface. What is your question? Question is not clear. Buddy, please write down your question again. Okay. What does it mean? Okay, big IP interface is nothing. Can you see these kind of ports? Okay, we are talking about these ports only into the lab section. Okay, when we are talking about a big IP interface, means we are talking about that. Okay, how you need to configure the ports. So here, if you see, there is something known as management. This is for your management connectivity. You see E1.1. This is for your external network. External network means this particular PC, for accessing this website, will go to the external network, and E1.2 is your internal network. Internal network means from your ASM to your servers. Currently in our particular lab, this is only one server, but you can have a server zone, separate server zone, separate VLAN, separate each and every stuff. So for that internal stuff, we are using one of the interface that is 1.2. Let me show you if you want to see it. Okay, let me show you quickly. So 10 dot 10 dot 10 dot 10 dot 51. Admin and NetMinion. So this is our particular, big IP machine. Okay, and it has the secure. It is, you were talking about the license, right? So let me show you. Can you see this particular field ASM? Sorry, security. This security means we are having the ASM provisioned over here. Okay, if you don't provision the ASM, you will not have this security field. So to have the security field, you need to have proper licensing and provisioning in the stuff that I would not be touching into this demo class, but in the practical classes I would be covering about it. Then let me talk about the VLAN and all of the stuff which you were talking about. Okay, so can you see there are two VLANs? Let me make it bigger, and let me use the full screen so that you guys have the fully you can have the full visibility. Okay, might probably now it is better visible. So if you see in the self IPs, you have two self IPs. Again, the same self IPs which we are, mentioning in our workbook. If you see in our workbook, we have three networks. One network is external, one network is internal. And as per this workbook, we have designed our this particular lab as well. And you can see one is external VLAN, one is internal VLAN. If you wanted to see the interface associated with these VLANs even, you go to the network, into the network, go to the VLANs, you can see there is external VLAN and internal VLAN, and both of them are not tagged. Okay, all of them are untagged interface, and one is using 1.1 and one is using 1.2. As I was telling you in the diagram, that one is external, one is internal, and one is your management. So management, I am using this IP to access my ASM box. Then using the external using the external, I am creating a virtual server over here. Okay, so this is a virtual server. Maybe if you want to go with me, if you want me to, create the virtual server with you guys, let me delete it. Okay, and let me create with you so that you have, better understanding. So before that, let me go to the node. So I have a node or a server which is having the IP 10.10.30.100. So this IP is our website. So this is for the internal VLAN. If you want to access your website, you can directly access your website from here. But we created a pool that is PHP auction pool. Let me open it. Okay, let me make it some more bigger so that you guys have better visibility. So this is a pool. This is the name, whatever name you want to give, you can give that name. This is health monitor. Again, if you are not aware about health monitor, do not worry. This is not the particular topic, but health monitor is something like it is big IP proactively checking either your website is up or no. On the basis of HTTP response, we are checking it. Although health monitor is in its own is having a very, very big topic. Okay, at least one class, 2 hours. Health monitor is a very important topic, by the way. If you want to see, we have the videos on our YouTube channel. Please go to the YouTube, write down NetMinion solutions and check in the playlist of F5 LTM, you will have the health monitors. And please subscribe it also, okay, if you are going over there. Now, this is your health monitor which I am applying, and it is showing that this is available. If I will go to the members, it will showing me that the same pool 10, 10, 30, 100 or my auction website, I am using on the port 80 and it is up. Now, next part is to create the virtual server. Now, when you want to create your virtual server, you should be using your external IP. Okay, what was that IP? Let me create the same IP, 10, 10, 20. So I am just creating virtual server and maybe auction I am just using any name. You can use any name. Okay. Again, there can be different types of virtual server. We are not covering that. That is the LTM part. Today we are just focusing on the ASM, and let me use 10 10 20 43. Any IP you can use. Okay, I am using the same IP, and you can see currently it is not responding. If I will see on the command prompt, ping 10 dot 10 dot 20 dot 43 minus T. So you can see it is not responding, because there is no VIP at all. We are creating the VIP, don't worry, we are creating. So we are using some port, maybe I want to use the SSL traffic. So I am use 443 port, okay? And then I am not explicitly, I am not adding the HTTP profile because I want to show you, if you are not putting your HTTP profile, your virtual server will not be visible when you are applying any kind of security policy. So I am not applying it for the time now. I will apply it later on. Don't worry. Okay. And I am using any of the client SSL profile. Again, client SSL profile. What is the SSL profile is full topic. SSL offloading, SSL pass through, bridging. Again, a very big topic. Again, one class is required for that. You can watch out our previous video over the NetMinion channel. Now, one thing more I am applying, that is automap. Where is the automap? Here is the automap. Again, what is the automap? I'm sorry for that, but again, these are very big topics and the LTM topics. I cannot cover each and everything over here, but yes, in the class we will be covering each and every stuff. So I am applying automap, and then you can see that I am applying a pool, and the pool is PHP auction. And let me see either there is some reply or no reply. Let me make it finished. And when I am making it finish, you will be able to see this should be responding, right? So you can see there is a response now because over F5 we created a virtual server, and this virtual server is nothing making the your web server, that is your PHP auction, now going through this particular virtual server. Let me press Control F5 to make it like refreshed again, and you can see that particular website is now able to open. So far, any doubt, please? Because it is pure LTM stuff. We didn't touch anything over the ASM. But if you have any doubt, you may please speak up. I would, cover that. Any doubt, guys? No? Okay, perfect. So this is our website where we will be gonna, cover, and we will be doing couple of the attacks. But before that, let me go to my virtual server, and here let me go to the resource, and into the resource, can you see there is one section I rule, there is one section policies, and none of them have anything. Let me go to the security, and you can see there is nothing in the security else also. So to create a new security, you need to go over the security field, and here can you see this application security? Let me click over there. There are different ways to go over there, but just I am creating from there only. And since there is one already existing, but leave it, I am creating one more for you guys so that you have the proper understanding, and you should be having some use to be, when you are over here, you should have some knowledge. So let me give some name, maybe 30 May. Okay, policy. Policy 30 May. And description, I don't want to give any kind of description. Policy template, leave it rapid only. Virtual server, can you see when I want to apply one of the virtual server, it is not showing me anything. Why? I told you from the very scratch of our class that ASM is protecting your HTTP and HTTPS stuff. And if it is a protecting your HTTP and HTTPS stuff, you should have HTTP or HTTPS profile. Now let me go to my virtual server first, okay, and there let me apply the HTTP profile. Okay, maybe by default any profile you can. If you have any standard in your office, you can use that. But for the lab perspective, I am just selecting any and updating it. Okay, and let me go back to my security and create the application security again. See, can you see this plus symbol? You can create from over here also. If you just click over here, you would be going on the same page. Okay, let me write down 30th May, or maybe policy 30th May, any name, huh? But in your production environment, the name should be very much significant, guys. What does mean by HTTP profile? So Mintu, HTTP profile is nothing on your virtual server. Profile means these are some configuration objects which is telling your F5 that what kind of traffic you will be having. Either it would be HTTP, either it would be HTTPS or something like that. Okay, so there are a lot of profiles, by the way, like SSL profile, DOS profile, more and more profiles. We will be covering out that. Don't worry. Okay, in our class. So please explain each policy type. Each policy type. Oh, that would be again a very big topic. But let me tell you, Chandrasekharan, there can be a fundamental, comprehensive, rapid type, and all of them have different features inside into that. Okay, but that is again a very big topic. We cannot cover that in our demo. Okay, let me cover about this. So we are just creating a policy name. We are just going to the policy type security only. Okay, if you are talking about these, oh, I thought you are talking about the templates. If you're talking about the policy types, so security and parents means there is some parent policy and you want to inherit each and everything from there. Like if you have an regular kind of what to say, the application technologies, okay, like if you have Linux based or the Unix based framework, PHP, web servers, Apache, OX, Linux, Unix database, MySQL, bit like that. If you have, you can create a parent profile and you can use that everywhere. But again, we can have master template also, which we can inherit using the XML export and import, but that is technical stuff, very technical stuff we will be covering in our classes. We cannot cover each and everything over here, okay. But let us see, if you go to your virtual server now and you see over here, can you see it is showing your virtual server now? Why? Because it has the HTTP and HTTPS profile over there. Now let me go ahead and let me see learning mode. Again, learning mode is something like how you want to learn it. Uh, we will be come to that part, okay, later on. So it is again a very big topics. Learning mode, enforcement mode, let it be transparent for time being. Application, we will be talking about all of these things, but let us talk about the server technologies because we need to see the demo first. So into server technology, I need to say, okay, what kind of web server I am using. Let us say I am using Apache. Okay, what kind of framework I am using? I am using PHP. Okay, then what kind of OS I am using? I am using Linux. And what kind of database I am using? I am using MySQL. So these things in your production environment, guys, your application team will tell you. But since how your F5 PHP auction site works, I am aware about that, and that is the reason I am using these technologies, server technologies. And why these server technologies are important in the layman term, I am just covering. I am not covering each bit and byte, but why it is important is, on the basis of these server technologies, your attack signature would get enforced. Okay, now let us go ahead. So that's it. Let me create this policy. It will take small time, and let us see. Okay, so it is policy 30th May is there now, and we can see that we are having the policy over there. Now go to the local traffic, go to the virtual server. Into your virtual server, if you will go to the resource, you can again see that there is some policy already attached. Okay, why? Because there is LTP which is attached. Why? Because you have associated this particular virtual server with application security. And this is something logging profile we will be talking about later on about this also, the very different topics, but I just enable the log all request. And if you go to this particular LTP, because I talked with you that I will be giving some overview about the LTP, you can see that by default there is the policy name. It has one rule name as default. If I will go to the default is saying it will enable ASM for this policy, okay, on every request. So that is your LTP, but we will be talking about the LTP also later on in a very good manner. Don't worry about that. Okay, we will be talking about. Okay, now let's go to the PHP auction and make some kind of usage. So I am going through my NetMinion, and I am saying go. And here if I will see that I am into the application, but let me see my application security. Do I have any kind of event logs or no? So these are the event logs. Oh, why it is showing like that? Is it, which application security is this talking about? Give me a minute. Let me delete my previous, you know, security policy. I hope in previous demo, there was some blocks which it is showing now. So I deleted that. I have the new policy only. And I am removing the filter of illegal request. And yes, here you go. Can you see? Someone, let me make it bigger. Someone requested for your website. The host of your website is 10.10.2043. You can see PHP Ocean has the host 10.10.2043 only. And you can see this particular website is having the status code what? 200. Okay. In your real environment, it will be showing a lot of more information about the country, about the IP, about each and every stuff. But this particular logging prompt does not create any kind of security vulnerability. But let us run some kind of security vulnerability so that we can see. So I am going to your control panel into my website. Okay. And here it is showing me that, okay, your name is NetMinion. This is your credit card information. This is your email. This is your telephone number. This is your address, city, and all of the stuff. That is okay. Even though it should not show my credit card information to me, it should be masked down. And how it will be get masked? I talked about the data guard, right? We need to enable the data guard feature and it will be get masked out. But it's all right. Let us, make some more attacks. If you see this particular URI, after the question mark, there is one parameter name is Nick. And into this Nick parameter, if I use star and I put enter, are you able to see 32 registered users information? I can able to see each and every information in a very clear way, having the name, having the credit card, having the email, having the telephone number, each and every information I am having before me, even though I have the security policy over there. But why it is not blocking? Do not worry, I would be coming to that part also. If you have any questions regarding that, don't worry about that. Let me just complete some kind of, first over here. Okay, some attacks, then we will be coming to that part. So you can see that we are able to see all users data, but tweaking out only one thing. And even though if I want to go for maybe some particular user like Pasha or whatever, okay, I can just write down his or her name and it will be showing me the detail about the Pasha. Okay, so that is the stuff. Can you see user Pasha? What are the auctions? What are the bids? What is the personal profile? I am into the Pasha profile now. So that is very much wrong. We should not be able to tweak out these kind of things. So that stuff we need to tighten our policy, security policy over our ASM, that it should not be behave like that. Let me go ahead and make some more, vulnerabilities. Let me show you more vulnerabilities. Let me log out it. Here, I'm running some kind of SQL query. So what was that? Or one equal to one hash. So into username, in spite of giving a username and password, I just run an SQL query. Okay, this is very common SQL query. You can able to see over the Google. Just go over there and see example of SQL query. You will be having different examples. When I am writing down go, are you able to see? I am logged in. I am logged in into my website. And if you see your control panel, it is again showing me all of the 32 users data. Why? Because I run an SQL query and this application is not blocked for your SQL injection attacks. And that is how an attacker can exploit your weak component of your applications. Okay, let me run a couple of more attacks. So I just showed you two attacks. One attack is I was tweaking out the value for the nick parameter. Second attack, I run the SQL query. Maybe what more in the register now? No, there was some. Okay, first let me log in. So let me log in with the registered user. And then sell an item, your control panel, contact us. Okay. Into the contact us, there is a script right down over there. Okay. See, these are the forms where an user can write down anything. Here it should be something your query, but someone is writing down a script and I am making it submit. And this script is run on that particular website, and a hacker can make or steal any of the critical information. It should not be a good way to run the script bit like that. So we will be checking out how to stop these kind of attacks. Okay, so 3 attacks I have shown you. Now let me show you, because Michael was keen to know about the fiddler. Let me show you about the fiddler also, how to use the fiddler and how we can, tweak the data from the fiddler. Michael is there. Yep. Okay. So this is a fiddler. It is a full proxy device which is intercepting your traffic in between, and it will be checking out each and every traffic which is going through or traversing through your laptop or your computer to any of the application. So what I am gonna do is I am going to home. Okay. So it is the certificate stuff. Let it be. I am going to the home. I am going to my electronics, any field. Okay. I am going to the consumer electronics, and what is this? Whatever. So whatever is an item which I need to buy out, it is showing that it is of 800 USD. I said, okay. It is saying, okay, what is your password? So my password is also NetMinion. I am just putting out NetMinion and I am submitting this query. And what it is showing that, okay, your thank you for the purchase and your credit card will be charged for the 800 USD. Yes, it is the fake credit card and all of the stuff. So do not worry about that. But yeah, it is showing that one item I purchased in 800 or whatever the price of the item is, I have purchased in that way. Now, let me tweak these settings using the fiddler. So if someone in between making something with fiddler, let me go to the consumer electronic again. Let me go to the whatever. And before buying it, I am going to my fiddler, and into this fiddler, every traffic is monitored, every traffic. I am saying, okay, fiddler, do one thing. Whatever traffic is going through it, stop it first. Okay, just give me a minute, please. Okay. So what we are saying that, okay, stop it first. And I am going to the rules. I am going to the automatic breakpoints, and I am saying before any of the request, you should stop it. Now, let me make a buy request, and can you see it is popping up? And let me open it. So there is a request. If I will go to the web form, can you see there is a name named as price, and what is the value? 800. Let me go over there and make the value of 1. Okay, and run to completion, and maybe go to my rules, automatic point, disable it. So what I did is I just make the changes in through my fiddler, that traffic I am changing out. And can you see the same traffic is now is of $1, and you may change it maybe whatever amount. And when I am making this purchase, the same item which was earlier having a bigger price is now of 1 USD only. So that kind of financial loss can someone have if they are not securing their application security properly. Is it fine, Fiddler? Sorry, Michael, about the Fiddler? Michael, is it fine for the Fiddler and all of the stuff? Okay. Now, these all stuff we need to get secured using our ASM policy. Let us do one by one. Like, let me do some sort of tightening my security policy, and then let me show you that how these all of the attacks are can be saved. So I'm going to my application security, and maybe let me go to the learning and blocking setting. So this is the heart of your ASM. Okay, I'm making it blocking, and maybe for file types I would be coming to these parts, what I am doing, okay, and why I am doing. Don't worry, I will be coming to that part later on. For today, just you can understand that, okay, what I am doing is I am just making my policy tightening, little bit tightening, because my policy is doing nothing over there, although it is over there, but it is not making any change. So let me learn couple of the things first. Then what about the data guard? Leave it. Server technology already there. Manual. You need to save these settings. Post saving these settings, you need to apply this policy. Okay, once this policy is applied, what about my attack signatures? These are blocked. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Some sort of good policy now. Okay, let me close it. Let me go to the home. I'm just surfing, something so that my security policy learn some of the data. Your control panel, contact us, home, maybe your control. I'm just, going to couple of the why are we not enabling attack signature? That is enabled, Gokul. Okay, that is already enabled. And I have done. Apart from that, I am just, tweaking up with more data so that I can see. Okay, so I hope in the my traffic security, just allow me a minute, guys. This is something, we need to do it before applying any security policy. So we will be coming to that part later on. But for now, let me accept these all suggestions. Apply the policy. Okay. So for now, you can just understand that I am tightening some of the policy. Okay. And because I want to show you the next stuff, let me do to the parameter. There is a next parameter. Where is that? Okay. And no, this is not the one. This is the one. This should be disallowed. This should be updated. And again apply policy. What I am doing is that is again technical stuff, and I need to teach you about each and every stuff. What are the parameters, what are the file types, what is the selective stuff, what is never stuff, what is all stuff, what is enforcing, what is transparent, what is blocking. I would be showing you in later on, but okay, not for today's demo. But let us do some of the stuff over here. I'm going to your control panel again. Let me tweak out first of all this nick. I am putting star and enter. Can you see there is a support ID? This support ID is 360893. Let me go to the events log. And if I see the illegal request, there is one illegal request that is coming out in my security policy. It is saying that request is blocked. Why? There is attack. What is the attack? Abuse of functionality. What kind of abuse it is? It is illegal meta character in value. What kind of illegal meta character is? This is the nick parameter, which is having the global parameter level, and it has containing a value which should not be. Again, these all values should be come through your application team also. Okay, as an application security manager, it's not that you should be having in and out of each and every application. You cannot have, but you should be aware about what is the parameter, what is the file type, what is the URL, how need to be tweaked out, these kind of things. And see, I was saying you that there is some kind of naming convention will come. Can you see this support ID? This is the naming convention. Okay, this support ID will be shown in front of the application user, and application user will come up with this support ID. Hey buddy, my request is get blocked and I am getting this particular support ID. Now you as an ASM administrator will go to the ASM box to the particular like policy and see what is the issue. And if this particular thing is okay to allow, you can allow it. Otherwise, don't allow it. You can ask, okay, give me the application owner approval. Okay, because you are the application owner. This is a risk for as per me. But if you are not agreeing with me, okay, give me the application owner approval and I will allow it. And then we can, if we have maintain, if we are maintaining any kind of risk register or so, we can write it down in the risk register for this particular application. Any doubt so far for this particular demo, for this particular first attack mitigation? Any doubt to anyone, guys? No. Okay, let us see some more. Okay, so let me go back. So this is again, I am to the back. Where was that script? Contact us. I am putting submit. Oh, it is not blocking. Let me check. My attack signatures are not enforced or what? Attack signatures. These are in staging. Yeah, Gokul, you were right. These are in staging. So let me make them enforce. It will take some time, guys, huh? Because when you need to enforce such of big range of attack signatures, that is 300 plus K. So you can see 3000, 3407. So it will take some time. But once your attack signature will get enforced, such kind of things, let me apply the policy, which is such kind of things, which is like SQL injection or maybe some kind of scripting you need to, oh, great, it is applied, blocked. Let me check again if it is blocking now. Submit. Are you able to see? It is 360901. Okay, let me go to the event logs. So you can see someone is going to the contact us page. Okay, let me just close that previous one. Someone wanted to go to the contact us page, and what is cross-site scripting is detected. Okay, and you can see even what kind of thing is there. Can you see script? There was some kind of stuff script over written over there in the contact field, and it is showing you, okay, what kind of, okay, let me show you. Can you see this support ID 360901 in the last, and here also you can see 360901. Similarly, let me go back. Let me log out to this, and let me perform that SQL injection again. Okay, if I am doing SQL injection again, there is another support ID 6361044. Let me maybe refresh it. This is the one, and let me make it bigger. Let me close the previous one. Can you see SQL injection is happened? What is SQL injection it is talking about? What kind of stuff it is there it is talking about, and why it is like who blocked it? Due to by attack signature. Okay, what is attack signature ID? This is attack signature ID. Maybe if you wanted to go for the attack signature and you wanted to learn about more about the attack signature, you can go to the application security attack signature, and there you can filter about the attack signature ID and all of the stuff. Maybe you can just type out whatever attack signature you had, and you can just write down go, and come on buddy, you can see it is showing that what was the attack signature. You click over here, it will be gonna more uh, detail about it. If you wanted to go for the documentation, it is talking about a lot. So there is lot of stuff you can if you are using HTTPS traffic, that is not suffice your requirement. You should be having a proper WAF in front of your uh, application. Okay, so that I hope that is okay for the lab practical. Now let us talk about what we are providing to you guys. Okay, so when we are saying that we are providing you this course, it means we are providing you these all of the stuff. You will be having the online instructor aligned to you, which is myself. Myself is Radhe Verma, and I am having 15 years plus experience, and I am taking interviews also and all of the stuff. I am having a good experience in the ASM. So I would be your facilitator end to end. Then you will be having 24/7 lab access. The same lab which I am showing to you, it is hosted into the NetMinion cloud. You will be getting that. Then you have the lab guides. Already I showed you about the lab guides. You will be having the study material, all of the study material, so that you can go through the different concept by yourself. Then you would be a part of our Telegram group, so that if there is any doubt, maybe post the classes also, you can see that, or you can, there is someone who can help you out. Okay, and most importantly, for free, you will be getting each and every session recorded, and those recording will be with you lifetime for free, so that anytime you want to go for any class, you want to surf for any class, you can surf for that class by your own time. Then if you have enrolled for F5 ASM, and in some case you are not able to join it for this batch, you are freely join another our batch. We will not charge any money from you. if you have already paid for ASM batch or any of the batch. Okay, this is the policy not for the ASM. Either you are coming for ACI, either you are coming for Python, either you are coming for SD-WAN, either you are coming for Palo Alto, or whatever batch for the NetMinion, the same policy will be there. And then if you are, see, this point is somewhat, you know, more useful for the Indian guys. We have lot of job opportunities for different MNCs used to come from our past students, or maybe for other contacts. We can refer our very good students who have the sound knowledge about the ASM and all of the stuff. Okay, so that all of the stuff we are providing it. And last but not the least, yes, you can go over the different channels, maybe over the Telegram, maybe over the LinkedIn, maybe over the YouTube. You can search about us, how we are teaching. Maybe you have an fair idea from this demo also. But yes, you can go over there and you can see that what sort of teaching we are doing over there. Now I am unmuting you all. I know you have a lot of questions, don't worry. Okay, so I'm unmuting you all, and you can, you know, speak up if you want to. So just give me up. Oh, oops. Where is that? Just give me a minute, guys. Okay, let me stop the live recording.